off, and like you said, Pure leaving the team. So when you've got a team that changes like that, how big a difference does it make? Like, is it like going back to square one, or is it's not too difficult?
I mean, I'd say changing a player is kind of big difference because every player has his identical way of how he view game and how he view his position and how he want to play. And for changing position, it's I'd say less, but it kind of gave us good boost.
So you finished sort of in the 5th, 6th slot last year. How are you going to improve on that and go further? What have you done to really sort of say, hey, we need to actually go even further than 5th, 6th, we need to get further in? What kind of preparation have you done for that mentally?
We're basically learning and growing with each year. If you're a good player and a good team, you're going to learn something as an individual and as a team, like some new concepts. You have to believe it's going to lead you to victory.
Fantastic. Well, I wish you all the best in the tournament. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. Saika.
Thank you for having me.
If they want to do better than top 6, they first have to make a deep run in that lower bracket, because that is where BB Team are right now. They did win earlier today, and that's why we're seeing them here again. We are going to watch their match up against Nouns. It'll be a best-of-3 elimination on the line once again. And we're at the half point of the day, and that means we changed our panel up. That means you're seeing me. I'm Shiva. I'll take you through the rest of the day together with my wonderful panel. I'm joined by Tigov, Effie, and Lacoste. Lacoste, we talked a little bit about it yesterday, but eliminations is really where the Dota starts getting more intense, and it just gets that extra little bit.
Yeah, it's the extra spice, but it's also kind of extra sadness seeing the teams, it's the big dreams throughout the year playing Dota and your dreams being crushed here, which is always tough. Been on the receiving end in my career decades ago, always. But yeah, I know the feeling. It does kind of suck, but it's also what you're going to learn for the next, enjoy Dota, of course, and also what you're going to learn from some of these defeats.
Yeah, it is what you're going to learn.
Like I didn't learn a lot.
We have to talk about what BB Team has learned, because we heard Saika or Nightfall just talk about their year and how they're going to try to breach top 6. And Tigov, that has been a little bit of a struggle throughout I would say, years.
Yes. If we look back, 2023, when BB picked up the main core of the roster, they had Pure. They, across the entire year, they just finished, 4th to 8th, maybe even in the bottom 50%. Like, they struggled immensely. Sure, they got, 1 second, 1 third. And then 2024 season, they pick up Miro. You can see the shift has kind of moved them from the bottom 50% of a team up into the top 50%, picking up seconds, picking up thirds. But still, to this day, they're yet to get a tournament win. As a team that is, the MMR that they have, the prestige that they bring from Eastern Europe, it's been 2 years now that the core roster of 4 players has not found, success.
And they are the highest MMR, Effie. They're supposed to do better.
I mean, they're a team people expect a lot out of because they're just so individually skilled. But, I mean, Dota has shown us time and time again there is something that is beyond reach of MMR. When players play together, there's cohesion, there's synergy. And credit to BB Team, they have found a lot more cohesion and synergy this year with the addition of Miro, as the graph, Tigov showed us, pointed out. But even with that, it feels like they're always one step short of greatness. And there were so many tournaments this year. I can think of Birmingham in particular, where I watched them and I thought, this really could be the one where they finally get a first place finish. And they looked so good up until a point where they don't, right? And they just fall short.
I've said that so many times.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the tournament.
the time.
They look good. In most of the tournaments, these guys, they look pretty damn good. It's just something that is missing, some kind of a magic. They're still not out, And I was wondering what this BB acronym stands for. It's the bottom bracket team. They need to make this miraculous run through bottom bracket or lower bracket. And so far, so good. Today, they had a great showing.
Or buyback team. No
Buyback
team.
Yeah, almost didn't go the way they wanted to there, but in the end they do earn their spot to go up against Team Nouns. Now, they have done this before, both teams coming from the same group. And if we're talking about how BB Team has been lacking the magic in some of the matches we've seen, they opened their series, the first series they played in the road to the International, was against Nouns, and that magic, Lacoste, seemed very much there.
It was insane. Like this first game, that's why I didn't believe in Nouns after seeing that first series, because they got stumped. They got 1 kill. This is the least amount of kills here at the road to the International. I mean, how much can you have? You can have 0 or maybe equal to 1, which is pretty difficult to top. But overall, this is the series that also shows that Nouns, they need to be able to adapt. We've seen the importance of adaptation when they were playing yesterday. They were unable to adapt. Their most successful hero is Protector. They're 4 out of 4. This is the strat that they've been running, and I think that Nouns got figured out.
Now the question is, will they prioritize the Stream Protector in the first phase? Because that's, at this point, the only place they're going to get their hands on it. We're in the draft. Game number 1 of this best of 3 elimination. Nouns will be Radiant, second pick. BB Team has already first picked their Enchantress. In terms of bans, not really something that is instantly standing out to me. Effie, maybe you have different ideas about that?
No, this all looks pretty familiar. The Sand King and Doom get taken out. They seem to be by far Gunner's most high impact offlane heroes. Mirana, Yuma popped off on it yesterday, and this hero has just proven itself to be such a nuisance. And Nyx comes out as a counter to Enchantress. This happens quite often, but Enchantress doesn't get let through. But the reason people love to play Nyx versus Ent is just you follow her to lane, you eat her creep, and that already eliminates a big part of the threat. Also, when you're getting dove under tower by a Centaur or something, Nyx is able to TP and also eliminate that threat. There is a bit of an issue, though, is that these jungle heroes like Chen and Ent, they group up very early, and Nyx typically does not like to play into an early group up. So if BetBoom kind of build around that idea that they're going to center around each other, ball up early on, maybe Nouns won't get that much value out of their Nyx.
And they do like to do that. BB Team does like to ball up early and play fast when they get the chance.
I'm not sure if they do. I feel like they win their lane.
That's how they won against Team Liquid 2 days ago. They smashed them in 18 to 20 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like
definitely draft dependent. Go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I feel like BB, they, some games they have that philosophy of, win lanes, crush their opponent, and then other times they want to sit back. But I think they are one of the few teams in the tournament that when they think they've won the game, they seem to kind of like ease off just a little bit compared to other teams, which allows for opportunity for comebacks. Like, and all the tournaments we've seen them play at, how many times has like BB lost a game because like they've built up an advantage, they've kind of got this like confidence that they've already won the game, and then like one pickoff or 2 here, and then suddenly it swings back around. So that's where like a Nyx Assassin for Nouns, even if the game gets difficult, there will be opportunities based on BB's history that maybe the X factor of the Dagon pickoff could help them recover what could be a difficult early game.
It seems like BB, they done the research. Luna, Ancient Protector gone. Nouns, they did win 3 out of 3 games, and they paired this up in the safe lane. This has to be one of the strongest, if not the strongest, safe lane that there is out there. We've seen quite a lot of, Miranas, quite a lot of Wind Rangers paired up, but I feel, this one, it feels really good. Mirana doesn't have that much win rate anyway. What I would like to see maybe from BB Team here is Lion +1. I think Save showed that he can play extremely good Lion. It also gives them something against this Monkey King in the lanes where you can stop him. They also have the spell mechanic, some early rotations from the Enchantress who can gank the lane. And also against Nyx Assassin having the instant Hex disable so that he can get Carapace off and kill him from 100 to 0. I think that'd be really nice.
That's quite the early Monkey King, though. I guess the hero's value has gone up significantly this tournament, and when you pick this Monkey King, you also have the security of whichever offlane that you choose for yourself won't be countered by the Monkey King. And all of the traditional counters to melee offlaners like Ursa and Slark, they're not very good right now, whereas Monkey King still is and can be flexed to mid.
I feel like Monkey King is becoming an equivalent of what Luna is in the draft, where you pick Luna and you don't feel that bad having it, right? Like from mid lane, you can play a lot of matchups. In carry, you can punish a lot of the melee offlaners that we see. So in regards to like draft strength, it doesn't really feel too punishing. So I can maybe see that logic, but also the speed in which you play, right? Like Nyx Assassin wants to find heroes and kills, therefore Monkey King, you get like Orb Corrosion plus like Deso or BKB. They're also chasing around the map looking for kills.
One of the things we said yesterday when we watched Nouns, we said maybe their playbook consistent of mostly the Treant Protector +1 and maybe mostly Treant Protector plus Cat Lady, be that Luna or Mirana. It seems like with now their opening with the Nyx Assassin and the Monkey King, they are playing heroes that they haven't played yet this road to the international, so they are showing that they have prepared something else. Oh, that doesn't inspire confidence, T? He's giving me a bit of a difficult face there.
Yeah, I look at BB's 3 heroes and I'm like, whoo, laning phase is absolutely like one-sided at the moment. Like Kotl plus Beastmaster, you've got Illuminates going into lane, you've got Wild Axes going into lane, you make stacks. Like Beastmaster, so far, like Road to International, we've seen games where he struggled to get items. This lane of, Kotl Beastmaster it's a free pass for Beastmaster to get to his first item.
You have stacks, you can eat, like, you're going to dominate the lane. It's quite a lot of Damagio, you have extra Chakram, but also if, let's say, you get ganked, you have an extra hero in your lane, you can always fall back to stack, so looks really good, I would say. The question is, who do they want to pair up this Keeper of the Light with? In the previous series that they played, it was Storm Spirit GPK, having that Keeper of the Light, getting that extra mana, so you need to utilize a hero. I'm maybe thinking, Storm is always going to be good because limited lockdown on their side, unless you get caught by Nyx Assassin or some Boundless Strike into Nyx Stun. I was maybe thinking Void Spirit. We've seen Void Spirit popping off recently.
And potentially any Spirit hero would work in the mix, but the Chen comes out from Nouns that we didn't talk about, and typically when Beastmaster used to be very popular and picked all the time, teams would have to ban Chen to protect the Beastmaster on lane, because a lot of the strength of this Beastmaster comes from his ability to play into Monkey King with his boars, which makes him one of the melee heroes who isn't too vulnerable to MK. But with Chen, who basically takes over his boars, that removes a lot of that lane threat and a lot of the kill potential of this Kotl plus Beast lane. So I think the Chen pick really protected Nouns' safe lane. And it's also a fly specialty hero. We haven't seen it in a while, but he is no stranger to Chen.
Yeah. There's something about the Kotl part where Beastmaster, I think if you didn't have Keeper of Light, the counter feels good, but because you have Keeper of Light, like, you don't really care too much about boar anymore, because it is all about the spam, the magic spam, the push. So it's like it's kind of okay, but I'm skeptical it's going to be the biggest lane winner that we've seen in previous drafts.
Center coming out for Nouns. Gunnar will be taking that one on.
A bunch of auras is what Nouns is looking for. Like Chen will get like a drum or the mech. Chen will then bring out a blink and a pipe, and that is when they're going to really go. So Monkey King, be it carry or mid, will need to bring that 20-minute timing as well to just try and survive the roar, the illuminates, the pressure that BB applies, because I just see a slow start to the game, but once they get online, they just hold each other's hands and walk around the map trying to break down BB.
Also, within the draft, Centaur should give Nyx independence after a few levels, where Nyx can, after just doing some creep shenanigans and manipulation and whatnot, he can go through the Twin Gate, try to maybe kill the Beastmaster or Kotl. He can rotate mid, he can just goof around in the jungle if he needs to, make scout out stacks. Like, Nyx has a lot of freedom to be independent because of the Centaur pick.
They do have the burst damage. Later on, you have Centaur, you have Monkey King, Nyx Assassin, if he gets to his Dagon. And also Stampede. I think this is a highly valuable spell that they just picked up against Enchanters, against Keeper of the Light. You want to find this Keeper of the Light. You do not want to see him use like 4 or 5 chakras on enemy carry or an enemy mid laner so that he gets multiple rounds of spells.
Nouns do need some range damage though, because they have 3 melee heroes in Nyx, Monkey King, and Centaur, and if this Beastmaster gets off to the start that we think he will, because he's going to have so much stacks that Kotl is going to make for him, an early Ags versus 3 melee heroes is very hard to play into. So they need some kind of damage coming from a distance to not commit too many bodies to taking down the Beastmaster, because this is the tempo hero that BB are going to play around.
5 seconds remaining.
Very strong Invoker pick as well. Effie mentioning like the melee aspect of Nouns lineup. You put in tornadoes and EMPs and deafening blasts from Invoker. That is a lot of fight control, but this is close to 4 specialty heroes for BB at this point that it just comes online so quickly. Still with carry for the last pick.
On the bright side for Nouns, they have overall last pick, so they can decide at the last moment where that Monkey King is going to go. But now that they already see that Invoker, do you want to put your monkey up against that, or will you opt for something different? It seems like BB team, they're banning out Puck, so they feel like picking an Invoker is enough to make Yuma be the one playing Monkey King.
They're going to be looking for a mid hero, most likely. Something for Copy. Copy's hero pool so far, a mix of melee and range heroes. The big one that he did play was Earthshaker. Problem is you're playing into Invokers. You will not have that much of an impact, at least early on, where your mana is going to get burned. But overall for the game, it could be a really good pickup.
And I wouldn't mind the monkey going mid versus the Invoker. Like, that's a fine lane for the monkey. The only threat would be the Enchantress rotations, but he should be able to CS well. And then maybe a safer safe laner to pick here. Sounded funny, but it is like the ranged it is the ranged carry meta for a reason. You need your carries to be able to CS comfortably and protect themselves.
Let's see what that final ban is going to be for BB team. If they want to protect that Invoker a little bit more. No, they want to remove a safe laner as the Weaver gets taken out.
They wanted to remove Elusiveness. Because they don't have that reliable stun Invoker. He needs some kind of a setup. Coddle Enchantress, these heroes are very... Like, they need something, some kind of a setup. They don't provide you with any kind of control. Pretty much your stun is Roar and Cold Snap.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. I wanted the like a troll or an out for a safe lane for BB to just farm freely while Centaur gets left alone. You want that carry that naturally needs a bit more time from laning to just, you know, exploit it. So melee carries that are independent wave pushers helps a lot.
Also, it's a hero that makes use of the chakra magic from Coddle in teamfights. All of a sudden, you are enabling this hero's like low cooldowns by having a stun that can be thrown out a lot. Also, the tempo coming out of an Alchemist, Beastmaster, Enchantress lineup is terrifying. The tempo that would come out of a Chen lineup does not even come close to matching what BB have right now.
Oh,
A Razor.
I was thinking they might go down the Queen of Pain route, just for the speed in which you react to early pressure. Like, Beastmaster steps up, you get that kill, but no, they go for the scaling option once again. You're going to have, you know, Razor, BKB, Monkey King, very quick BKB, Centaur with the pipe. Like, we expect BB to be aggressive, but still there's time for them to come online, right? Like, you need Alk to get to Radiance +1, you need Beastmaster to get to that Aghanims. So there is a window where Nouns should at least get the defensive items to take a good fight against the expected, you know, aggression that we see from this lineup.
It's also range damage, which they sorely lacked.
I think both teams got the drafts that they wanted. This looks to me like pretty much BB draft 4 out of 5 heroes. It screams BB. On side of Downs, they needed to cook something differently for this one. Razor, Copy did play it earlier, and I think Razor in this game has a pretty free reign. Once he pops a BKB, the only thing that can stop him pretty much is the Beastmaster. They don't have ways of increasing his damage. There aren't like these big things that they can throw on top of him, no IO or anything, but they have a Stampede, so he can choose which target that he wants to go for in a fight.
Yeah, it's just another story of Nouns have great scaling. They have good core-to-core matchups in Monkey King and Razor versus Alk and Beastmaster now. As long as they can get to a state where they have like 3 items and BKBs to play into BB, they can definitely take it. But BB have terrifying tempo. They're playing on Enchantress, early Ags Beastmaster, an Alchemist that's going to come out with a Blink BKB very early on. So there's going to be a period in the game from like 20 to 30 minutes where Nouns are going to be on the back foot. And if they don't lose by then, they have a good chance.
Yeah, now just need to show that they are, you know, tactically aware of what's going to happen in this game. If they try and... They don't really make moves, right? Like, Razor doesn't want to make moves, no one wants to make moves. So if they just sit down, farm, defend an odd tower or two, they can get into the game. But if they play BB's game, then it can be a little bit scary, so yeah.
At what point do you feel like if you're going to watch Nouns and see if they can weather the storm that BB is throwing out here, at what point are you going to be worried for Nouns?
If they don't contest second Roshan. If they give away like 2 Roshans for free and they're just still in that kind of farm state, then they probably could have a lot of problems.
But they can give 1.
Yeah, 1's fine. You give up tier 2s, but like they need to have all the tools when, you know, BB are expected to be barreling into your high ground around, you know, maybe 25 minutes or so, yeah.
Yeah, seems very scary to deal with. You feel like they can do it?
On side of Nouns?
Yeah?
Yeah, but this game needs to be slightly later, I would say.
Okay, let's find out what's going to happen in game number 1 of this best of 3. We're heading over first to Milan, who's going to be talking to Nomad.
Thank you very much, Shiva. Yes, indeed. Milan, I mean, they've gone very comfort on the side of BetBoom. What do you think about that?
I think that's their style. We expected a lot of heroes that they picked. Like, their team that tries their guts, they had ups and downs, but they have been like sort of stable team throughout the season. Like, they had bad results, but, you know, these players are high MMR, they believe in what they do, and I think it's good what they took. It should be, but we try to counter it and we'll see what happens.
All right, and what's your mentality like after your loss yesterday? You know, how are you coming into this one?
I think the games in the playoff against Spirit and Gaming kind of showed us that we can play against anybody because we beat the TI champions and we had a close showing versus RIA champions. So I think we can play against anybody. But it's mostly about us. If we play well, then we have a good shot. So it doesn't matter who is the opponent.
Thank you very much. Best of luck in the game. And now we're going to throw it over to our casters, which for this one will be Sunsfan and Synderen.
Thanks so much. He's bummed.
Thank you very much, Nomad, as we have this best of 3 underway between Nouns and BB Team. Already a Boundless Strike on to save. He will survive on that glorious horse of his. Synderen, what do you think of this matchup?
Oh, this will work.
Oh, hang on. Did they get 4 bounty runes? Oh, boy. That's not... sorry, that didn't really answer your question, but that's a pretty rare thing at this level, that one team manages to get all 4. I was like, how did BB just get a 1k net worth lead here? And, well, on top of that, they also have 250 extra gold in the Alchemist, so they're off to a good start. The matchup itself, I think the panel was pretty spot on. You know, the lineup of BB here can play extremely fast if the laning stage goes well, so Nouns need to be careful with not getting rolled over. However, we did see a similar situation in one of their games against Gaming Gladiators yesterday, where they managed to do exactly that with some good early movements to solve the problem in that individual game. So they've shown that they are capable of playing against high pace, and if their own lanes go in a stable manner, it should be an exciting game.
Yeah, and I think Nouns, despite losing their last series, I feel like feels like they're on the up and up, right? They have a lot of momentum. I think a lot of people were counting them out, and then BB Team on the other side, they're struggling with the same issues that have plagued them from time immemorial, Synderen, even with Pure on the team. Apparently getting rid of him doesn't change anything. In fact, he's on Tundra and he's destroying right now. But it feels like they always come in with a lead, and you just never feel confident that they're going to bring it home, you know? It's just such a strange thing to happen over a 2-year period for the same team.
Yeah, the thing is, if they ever figure that out, they will be
the best in the world, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Legitimately.
This is a team whose Achilles heel is, how to say, losing an important game and then spiraling. And the way they lose that important game will most often be from a very advantageous position where they just mess something up and drop the ball and then don't recover. That's definitely been a bit of a mentality problem, I would say, for them is the main thing for the better part of a year. But the good news for them is, in the last series, the one against Talon that they played earlier, they lost Game 2 after being really far ahead, and then they stomped them in Game 3. Yeah. So in that series, they showed that resilience, the ability to reset completely.
You would think over time, throwing that many leads away, you kind of get used to it, and you build a resistance of sorts.
Yeah, it does sound like an interesting scientific study. How might need to get some papers written on this.
Yep, absolutely. A lot of damage being applied to BB Team here in this bot lane. Better be careful with that Monkey King. That is a hero that can absolutely take up.
Oh, big damage save.
Boundless Strike onto save. He's going to pop the Fairy Fire, so we'll survive.
So what we didn't talk about, they showed prior to the game during the draft, they showed that every single Chen so far in this tournament, I think, has started with the summon convert of the Satyr. And this game is no exception. So Chen, at his whim, can just summon a mana burning creep, effectively, and that is arguably in most cases the most lane-focused creep you can have. So obviously the reason why you take it, save. But blinding light, but
eventually
it
does happen. Yeah.
So what's the blind chance again on level? It's 40% on all levels. So okay.
And the fact that he gets that kill without even Jingu as a skill on the hero,
yeah,
pretty interesting. I mean, that just goes to show how amazing Tree Dance is with this facet. It is, we already talked about it the other day, but unbelievably good, as we're going to see a concoction onto Gunnar with the acid spray and the blood grenade on top. He is taking a lot of damage, and that should finish him off. So
he's a goner.
Of tying the game 1-1. Very good joke, Synderen.
Fly will try to open up the small camp here, interested in finding his way to some pulls. So as the panel was talking about, the Chen versus Beastmaster match was a classic counter pick, and it should give a very good start to Yuma. That kill on the Caudal, I think, was honestly unexpected, given the circumstances. You said there was no Jingu, and Chen's creep was actually dead, but they just barely scraped by and got that. So that's the good news here for Nouns. Aside from that, mid lane is pretty much a wash. between the Invoker and the Razor. I think that's the expected outcome on that one. And then, well, since Alchemist has started being able to just start with 250 extra gold and then got 4 bounty runes, I think Gunnar is not expected to win this lane.
Yeah, I would say so. Right, accurate.
But he's tied with Beast. So I guess from the side of Nouns so far, it's looking okay, and I think BB team are very happy as well.
Right, and we've been seeing this build on Centaur pretty much every game that I've seen, where they don't even bother with double edge until probably this next level here. Actually, maybe even not. It's typically the level 3 in Retaliate to be able to farm consistently, which means you're just not going to be getting kills in this lane. It's all about survivability and eventual farm.
I think it's the right mindset as well, that you're never going to be in a position to play this lane aggressively until Razor rotates, and that will be a while, so play for yourself. This is the selfish Centaur build, basically.
Now he's got Jingu. Miero has to be careful. Save is there with the blinding light just in time.
It looked like he was about to go for one more swing as he got blinded away, but just barely outranged. But he's going to try again.
Yeah, he's trying.
Yuma's hungry.
Miero tries to cut down the trees. That was a good attempt. Blood Grenade going to slow him down a bit. 3 stacks of Jingu on Miero.
Jeez, he is in
There's
there.
the Boundless activated. Not enough to get the kill, but still. Miero is really hurting here.
He knows the limits. He likes playing on 5% health for 10 seconds straight, apparently.
Yep.
Well, he didn't die, so...
Yet.
Yes, that is correct. We'll be stacking up his Ancient Hero to a triple stack on the Beastmaster. Obviously, one of the... This is something BB team have done a very good job at. They also were putting a lot of emphasis on this when they played the Caudal Storm game earlier today. Tons of stacks. And this time it's both Save as well as Miero making stacks in 2 different camps. We'll see if Nouns, arguably with the best invasion hero in Dota right now in that Monkey King, will try to deal with that at all, if they're able to.
Arguably.
Yeah?
Is it an argument?
You could make a case for a hero like Storm, you know, if you have vision, you can always jump in.
Copy.
He's
going to get punished really hard by BB team. And
Miero with a celebratory tornado. He was trying to KS it, but Saika hit too hard, so unfortunately for him, his carry gets the kill. A very sad outcome, of course.
Yep, very sad.
If you're a mid hero, you want everything.
Mind Flare is the biggest quality of life to Nyx in the history of Dota. I'll say that right now. This hero can farm anytime now. What do you think of the current Nyx in this meta?
I think the hero's really good. I think he's significantly underpicked in this tournament. He makes a lot of sense as a counterpick to Ench, of course, which is why they ran it, but I believe the win rate of it that we saw was quite good, but the number of games was very low. I suppose the main problem teams are facing is if you don't pick this into specifically Ench or Chen, maybe your laning is just too weak and compensating for it gets too hard. But that said, I still think it's reliable a lot of the time, and especially we're seeing the rise of Invoker, right? This hero was not played particularly much in the first few days of the tournament. Now he's starting to really see play. Sunstrike plus Nyx can kill any hero on the map.
Yeah.
It's even better than it used to be because Nyx now, as a support, reliably goes Dagon and does a lot more damage with Mind Flayer. So if you remember back in the day what kills you could find with Nyx Invoker, you can almost add 50% to the health of heroes you can kill. So, I don't know, perhaps that's the strategy we'll see teams run later on if they can get the laning to work.
Yeah, that's always been his issue, is the laning. But you just don't lane now. You just go jungle. Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Which begs the question, why is Pudge not being played in this meta? My goodness. What a great hero.
Waiting for Boxy to run his signature I'm leaving lane minute 2 and going jungle play.
That was epic.
They crushed that game.
Indeed.
It's
well, GPK. He's in the cover of his Ghost Walk right now. Might be going through the gate, but he's going to run into Fly. Or is it the other way around? Yuma on the trees as well. The EMP already being shown, as Fly will likely just be sacrificed. He actually dies to a neutral creep, and instead all the damage being applied to Mr. Nightfall. He's getting all this regen, but it's not enough. He will drop. Unfortunately for Nouns, though, I think they're going to lose both cores in Yuma and Gunnar in the process. So they lose 3 heroes, although again, 1 denied by neutrals.
Yeah, this was, the panel didn't talk about this, but a really big upside to Stampede is that you, as Chen, you can just Stampede right into the neutral camp and die. That apparently was important there. Oh, he just narrowly dodges every spell there on Lelis.
Very nice.
But yeah, good defensive play there from BB team, really covering up their Alchemist in this safe lane. which is going to be necessary. This is a textbook Nouns play.
Oh, Lelis.
Oh, well, he dodged every spell and then he walked back into them. Oh, well.
Yeah, well, he wasn't expecting Banana Boat team to come back into the triangle area, so they stuck around.
Yep. It's, yeah, I was going to say, Nouns, I think one of the things they did really well against Game Gladiators in the game that they won in that series was rotating from the safe lane through the gate. And I think BB team have prepared for this. They've studied the movements that Nouns like to go for, and they were exceptionally ready for that rotation. They were already in position when Chen came through, as you said, and they were the ones to make the first move instead. Now, that's probably not going to stop.
10-minute rune.
Okay.
Looks like it'll be top as the haste is bottled by Copy. Tornado already used from GPK, so he won't have